Morning punters, happy Friday. Because it's weather, crikey. Probably should have waxed for this, sorry about that. So I'll have my form for Flemington up tomorrow via racetrackralphie.com.au, and I'm doing a little Word document on other races I like interstate. This time of year there's good races in a few different states, so that'll be an accompaniment to it. But one of the races will be the Australian Oaks, and I'll try a trifecta again here. So given the day, instead of, I'll spend $60. Instead of half to equine pathways, we're going to go a third to equine pathways and a third to soldier on if we get a result. So here goes. Favourite, Get a Good Feeling, pretty faultless and probably entitled to be considered the best horse in the race. Always try and ask yourself, what will be the story after a race if it loses, after a race if it wins? Well, first up, great sign that it's come back a better horse. Now, it started odds on favourite last year's Oaks off a dominant Wakeful win. Now, was it end of prep or end of distance? Maybe a bit of both when it was unplaced to Strictly Business. But first up, clearly had a bit of set for it about it, given there was a big $1 million bonus race for English horses. And it won that. Always a good sign of quality to win first up at 1200 for a stayer. Now then it's gone to Caulfield, and it was on that tip of a track that day that was just yuck. And it was deep odds on as it should have been. It won as it should have, and it was such an easy win. This is what I'm coming to about if it gets beaten. If it gets beaten afterwards, you say, well, it had a soft lead in. And that's factually true that it's had a soft lead in. But since it had a barrier trial, trust the trainer. Obviously, Danny O'Brien, a multiple Group 1 winning trainer. No problems there. And probably trust the fact that it's third up into the Oaks. Given last prep, it was probably a bit busy through the spring. So a reset and say, okay, let's go more lightly raced. I always try and think of trainers' intent, particularly when it comes to big races. Without speaking to them, you just observe and you try and get a bit of a feel for what the intention is. Drawn well. Billy Egan knows her well. Not a big race, known as a big race jockey. Nothing personal what I say here. I'm talking about how the market might treat it. So I reckon the market will let you on a little bit. So it's currently high twos. It's probably going to start mid threes, I would say. Maybe the Avalanche comes for it, and if then, it's probably unbeatable. But what I'm saying is you can't take a trifecta without it. You can do what you like, but I won't. And I'll also take a little key box, which I'll get to with her just winning. Second favourite, Salty Pearl. Again, bit of a dip, which I like in that. Firstly, thrown behind She's Your Alibi, the superstar. Then blinkers on into the big money race at Caulfield, wins that, and then a bit sideways at Sydney in that Storm Queen. And that can give it a chance to reset and go bang. So she too deserves to be deep in the market. She's mid-4, she'll probably start around about that, I would assume. Assuming a good parade, etc. And she's a bit of a line chaser, this filly. Mare. Yeah, no, filly. Of course, it's an Oaks. And then the third favourite is Panova. Now, I think it's one who's over the odds. And with J Mac going to South Australia, don't reckon he's going there just to the Barossa. He's obviously riding the other Group 1 as well, but let's just focus on this. So Panova, be very wary of taking this horse on. She's $8 range. I think she's a super each way play. Firstly, her win Derby Day in the Carbine Club said, good horse. Can't do what she did, conceding such an impossible position, in quotation marks, and win without having a degree of talent. Now in Sydney, you'll look at those runs and think, yeah, a bit plain. Big mid-race moves each time. Race shapes against it each time. That can absolutely have a peaking for a grand final performance tomorrow. And as I said, when you've got J Mac on and Chris Waller trained, you look like you're going to peak into a Group 1. It's not really the type you want to take on, is it? So they're the three that I anchor. Now, there's two from Caulfield as a really fast and high quality 1700 lead in. that the market currently underestimating. They're both in the mid-teen range. Savitri beat Paltrow Miss. If they relax in the run and bring that performance to South Australia tomorrow, they will be deep in the finish. I'm probably more confident Paltrow Miss will stay and relax. I think Savitri seems a bit of a high energy horse, but she won the race fair and square. If Benny Mellon can get her to switch off a bit, she's a real talent. So they're the other two I want to have, Savitri and Paltrow Miss. The significant part with Paltrow Miss, only 2 starts in Australia for Kieran Maher. And if she can then go again and cope with that huge early exertion difference from Sandown to Caulfield, she's deep in the race. Now, Mating Call's the favourite I won't have, as in there's 4 horses of single figure odds, but it beat Freedom Flame, who I will have. And it's probably a, pick your 6th slot and go for the one that's at bigger odds. Freedom Flame was left in front a long way out in a high pressure 1800 last start, and Mating Call ran it down. Now, Freedom Flame won a proper 1800 last spring, beating Different Gravy, who's a very smart horse to Henry Dwyer's, then went and dominated on Melbourne Cup Day. And Freedom Flame, everything about the prep here seems sole focus grand final, which I always love in big races. Taylor Johnson, an experienced sort of rider, the market generally lets you on. Barrier 1 just lands there, I think, 2nd or 3rd line, and it's $34. So I'm not saying I expect it to win, I am saying it could, and I want it in my 6-box trifecta. So I'll take that 33%, spending $40, and then I'll get a good feeling to win with those other 5, which I've written up. The other 3 I'll include is obviously Mating Call at 1, Strictly Business, the VRC Oaks winner, who has seemingly been really playing this time in 2 runs, but maybe stepping up to 2,000, has had a barrier trial since, even though it was plain too. She might just switch on. So, given that she's $26 and her Oaks win was so good, might as well throw her into a key box. And the other one's Just Kick. Now, Just Kick ran 3rd in that high quality 1700 I mentioned with Savitri and Paltrow Miss. So I'll throw it in for a key box too, and it's $61. And Harry Coffey, good quality rider, generally gets it right in big races. So that's my little trifecta try. Best of luck and responsibly.